So what's up, YouTube? Video that I want to bring up. Um, so what's up, YouTube? Video that I want to bring up. So basically, this is about narcissism. I'm going a little bit deeper on narcissism, on how to actually deal with them just a little bit. Definitely want to give you a couple tips on how to deal with them. I do want to say that narcissists are heavily influenced by the energy Set or Seth from Egypt. If you guys don't know who that is, it's an Egyptian god that is in Egypt mythology, and a lot of narcissists are basically influenced by that energy heavily. I would want to tell you that a lot of things of the esoteric you guys don't understand. I'm learning a good amount, and some of it is actually connecting. But going back to the energy of Set, Set is all about chaos and disorder and ego. That is the energy that it runs this whole place. Some people will say in Hinduism, I believe it is Hinduism, that we live in a Kali Yuga or whatever, so that's where everything's like kind of negative. I'm not saying that Set is a negative archetype. I'm just saying that it's very unhinged. I don't know if I can say unhinged, but it's untethered, and it basically does whatever it does. So the energy of Set is actually influencing the world, and it always has been. Sometimes it may be a little bit more than usual, but it's always been there. And you can actually see this reflection inside certain people, and these people are mentally deranged out of trauma, or possibly nature, nurture, whatever. So the way that I deal with these fucking idiots is that step one is to, if you're dealing with a narcissist or even someone who's emotionally volatile, what you want to do is protect your emotional and mental real estate. And what that means is that the narcissist will try to do anything and everything to disrupt your peace, and that involves you being asleep at 3 a.m. in the morning, and then they knock on your door pretending like, oh, you don't really have, I don't care about your peace. They'll do it loudly. They'll be loud around the house. There's other things like they will purposely try to make noise around where you're at, instead of doing it anywhere else in the house. They will try to do other stuff. I'll probably make a video on the list of things that they probably do, but those are some of the things that they'll do. That's kind of like, why would you do that? That's fucking crazy. And it is crazy because they'll do that to you, but then whenever they're out and about talking to other people at work or at other functions, they have all the politeness in the world. It's ridiculous. So they know what they're doing. But one of the ways that you deal with them is basically you protect your emotional and mental real estate. That's how you do it. Whenever you are dealing with them, what they're trying to do is they're trying to extract you off your center. And when they do that, they feel like they won, because now they can manipulate the narrative. And once you give them that, they'll try to use it and spin it any way that they could. So what you want to do is be completely dead towards their needs, towards their emotions, towards their way of life. I'm not saying that they're still human, they still matter, they're NPCs in a way. They're actually agents of the system. I'll talk about that some other time, but this is definitely a matrix. But you definitely want to keep your emotional tone pretty low, and show that basically you being you walking into the woods and running into a bear, that the bear doesn't affect you. And that will throw the bear off a little bit, knowing that bear sharks, all of them, they operate off of looking at fear. So you definitely want to, anytime they talk to you, you want to be monotone. You don't want to show too much expressions. Be very minimal to like nothing. Do that, and you will throw them off. Even if they try to guilt trip you, even if they try to gaslight you, just don't care about that. Anything that involves how they feel, don't give a fuck. And they will see it. They will notice. They will be like, what the fuck? And if they are very volatile to a point to where it's past the 5 and you don't really respond, it throws them off, and they will kind of whine like a child. You'll see it. They'll try to hide it back, so you'll probably just get like a little dose of it, but you'll notice it. Definitely the second thing is, what was the second thing? Oh, yeah. So the second thing is basically, what you want to do is figure out and study your narcissist. You want to study them and find out how they are. And if you can find out how they are, do what they do to you. Now, take this with a grain of salt. If you are with somebody and they are physically keen to, just touch you, and, I don't think that made sense. If they're willing to touch you and try to abuse you physically, you need to leave. The only thing that will probably help is the first one I gave you, the first tip I gave you. But you need to leave. If you choose to stay, then you're an idiot. And I would say I don't have any empathy for you as well, but you need to leave. That's something that you need to do. And going back to what I was saying on the second tip is, you need to figure out what type of inconsistencies that your narcissist or whoever the fuck it is has, and find out what ticks them off. My apologies, guys. My phone just stopped recording. Let me continue. So basically, the second tip is, you want to find out the inconsistencies of your narcissist. Find out what their habits are. Find out what they like to do. Find out what scares them, what bothers them, and basically use that to your advantage, and make things basically like an accident on it happening. And you have to be kind of strategic about it, to where, like, they either think that they forgot something or they did it, so they'll slightly kind of go crazy and shit. Like I said, no matter what I'm telling you, you need to leave regardless. You don't need to be around these people, but these are for like the less volatile. If you are dealing with somebody who is that could potentially be physical, you want to create the aura of fear and possible danger coming from your end. Even if it's real or not, you want to actually show, because you're dealing with actual animalistic behavior with no conscience. So the only thing that the animal understands is fear and possible annihilation, regardless on real or fake. I'm not telling you to annihilate anyone. That's definitely not what I'm telling you, but I'm saying there's different poetic ways to annihilate somebody. So that's definitely what you want to do. You need to observe your narcissist. If you're stuck, at any point in time, you should definitely be gone. But you want to find out what they like to do. What do they have? Find out ways to, give them anxiety, give them embarrassment, give them sadness, give them inward guilt. Find ways to do that, because they still feel the same way you and I do. But the thing is that some of it is just covered up in anger or whatever else. And a lot of times when people are trying to manipulate you, like them, it's actually a cover so their ego doesn't look at what is the truth. So in actuality, they're fighting you, they're fighting themselves, and they're fighting the universe on a cosmic level. So they're constantly burning their own real estate, their mental realm, all that shit. They're doing that to themselves. So they're actually killing and hurting themselves, and giving them a little push. So you definitely want to find out these things about them and learn how, when to implement them. Hey, if you want, the one thing that they care about the most is perception. If you can be able to build a perception, and mainly make sure it's the truth, okay? It needs to be the truth. It shouldn't be something that is bullshitted. It needs to be something that's true. And you know, you don't have to lie on these people because they have so much skeletons. That's who they are. So if you can do that, that would be totally perfect. You don't need to lie on anything. Just tell the truth, let people figure it out, and eventually people will notice. And then they'll look at you like, oh shit. And then he or she will basically dig their own grave. And that would actually be their future. The last tip, and I'm going to move fast with this, is basically create absence, create a distance from them. What this will do is this will make them have to re-regulate themselves, because when you are gone, or you're not around, or you're unpredictable yourself, they don't have any power. They get power by knowing your habits, knowing who you are, what you do, all that stuff. If you can take that away and not be so present all the time, not be in their view all the time, it'll throw them off emotionally. And you can actually create fear in them to where they feel like they can't control you. And that's what actually throws them off. You can do that. And that can actually help a lot, knowing on how and when to basically not be in the peripheral, not be in their field, because these individuals are actually like children, but these children are angry. So everything is all about now, just like how a baby is. A baby wants food, wants love, wants attention, wants affection now. The only difference is between the narcissist and the baby is that the narcissist is angry. That's what it is. So if you can create that mystery to where you're just like, they think they got you but they don't, that's what will actually they will actually feel less protected themselves, because now they can't figure you out, and these will actually intertwine with each other.